to visit with us. I think you know we're all concerned about the shortfall, and hopefully we get legislation over here this week from the House that is going to patch that. I've listened to your answers, and honestly, I don't see, there's a lot that just does not seem to add up. How you could not have seen this coming is perplexing. So talk to me for just a minute about the added transparency and what you're going to do to improve that annual budget process. You were saying you were looking at $20 billion more in benefits. I think that's right, Mr. Jacobs. And Senator Sullivan has proposed a bill, and I'm co-sponsoring this, that would require you to provide regular in-person budget reports to Congress because your numbers have been so far off and your expectations have been so far off. So I'd love to hear from each of you on that.
Yep. Senator, I'd be happy to increase transparency and communication. We previously provided quarterly spend rates. Right now, we've increased that to monthly and be happy to do that in person. The approximately $3 billion that we've requested in mandatory funding is a little less than a week's worth of payments that we provide to veterans and their families. So in terms of where the projections were relative to the total amount, relatively small, but obviously a large dollar amount. In terms of the process improvements, we are making certain adjustments to our inputs and the assumptions. I discussed that a little bit earlier about the total number of that served and the average rate of the increased disability compensation. And then as we do that, we'll continue to communicate with this committee and others in Congress to make sure we're
Okay, let me ask you this. Was the communication gap that caused this shortfall, was it between the veterans and the caseworker, and your offices? Where did your numbers fall? How did you get so far off track? And I know you've said, well, we've done more outreach. Well, we've done this. Well, we decided to change how the PACT Act was going to be implemented. But there should have been some form of communication that said we've got a hiccup in the system and we need to fix this. And to have come before us and not brought it forward and then immediately after say, hey, we've got a problem, it looks very suspicious. Our job is to make certain that veterans get what benefits they're entitled to.
Yep. Senator, as we were monitoring our spend plan and comparing the actuals versus the projections, what we identified in the second and third quarter is that we were actually quite close, and in fact our spend rate for compensation and pension was actually under the projections. What transpired and changed in that June-July timeframe is we updated our projections. So based on new analysis, we identified the potential risk for the need of additional mandatory funding. And the challenge here—
So you don't do this on an ongoing rolling basis. You periodically do updates. So do you need different technology?
And no, Senator. I think what we have to do is just continue to maintain the frequency. Yep.
All right. Dr. Elnahill?
Senator, absolutely. So we made very explicit policy decisions, including accelerating eligibility for many more categories of veterans as of March 5th of this year. 50,000 veterans have since enrolled from that authority alone, on top of 750,000 vets since the PACT Act was signed. We should have been more communicative. I will definitely concede that to you, and we will work on that. We've been monitoring budget execution as we normally do every single month. The main driver of this is delivering more care to veterans than ever before. And we stand by our decision to open the doors into the healthcare system for more veterans. But I pledge to you that we will be as transparent as possible as we move forward. And we do think this is a good investment for future veteran care into the next fiscal year.
Okay, let me ask you one quick thing about these CSI bonuses, because I think this was astounding that bonuses of up to $100,000 were being given. Were any of these individuals that got bonuses working remote part-time, or were all of them in person 5 days a week?
So we have a policy for our headquarters, Senator, where folks have to come in 5 days per pay period, which is 2 weeks. So about 5 days every 10.
So they're able to work remote part-time, and they're going to get a $100,000 bonus, and we have a budget shortfall that we can't take care of the veterans and provide them the benefits they have earned.
Senator, listen, I concede that we made mistakes on this as soon as we discovered,
Yeah.
especially in my
My time
case.
has expired. I'm going to send it back to the chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Senator